Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So we shall continue with our spiritual Sufi spiritual vision 11. Now, the last lesson we talked on the true guide. One of the condition, our true guide, one who has knowledge of God. If you don't have knowledge of God or Marifatullah, you can never be part of God. You can never call yourself a Sufi. A Sufi must, at the outset, as a foundation or base, he has knowledge of God or Marifatullah. Because without this, you are blind. Without this, you have no knowledge about God. How you want to guide people when you're blind and you don't have knowledge at all about God? So you must be not blind, and you must have knowledge of God. Then you can guide other people. That was the first condition we talked last topic. And the second was, you must not be blind or ignorant or deaf. Blind in the sense that you don't have, you have not yet achieved the knowledge of God or Marifatullah. So you are blind. Because Imam Ghazali said very clearly, Allah, the presence of Allah or the existence of the presence of Allah is clear as crystal, but you need knowledge of God or Marifatullah. So if you don't have Marifatullah, knowledge of God, then God or the existence of God or existence of Allah is never crystal clear to you. So you are blind. So how are you going to guide people if you are blind? That's why Allah says it's not the same people who are blind and people who can see. And if you are ignorant, that means you have no knowledge about God. Because you have no knowledge of God, you don't have knowledge about God. How are you going to guide people? When they ask you if God is that vast, how vast he is? How can he see the worm inside the earth having stomachache? How does he hear the fish in the ocean crying? See, these are the things that you can see later. Some of the asking of the young people who are now more intellectual, more educated, that you need to answer. You can see, even we will show you later, even our well-respected Zakir Naik cannot answer question that when you don't have knowledge of God, you can't. Even though he's an expert in his own field, he can't answer this one. Okay? So you must have the knowledge. If you are ignorant, there's no point. I'm grateful to Bakirista, Mahmoud also, for giving me the strike on Zakir Naik. Very important point. Bring it up tonight. And if you don't have the knowledge, you are blind. If you are willing to be guided, then all right, but you don't want, you refuse to listen. Therefore, you are deaf. So these are people who cannot be the true guide. And you have, we who can see and who have the knowledge have to be aware of this. Of these people who are blind, ignorant, and deaf. Many a times they were attackers because they could not understand the knowledge. So they attack us. They live in a perimeter, not outside the perimeter. Outside the perimeter, they are lost. Okay? So these are people who live in that perimeter, and you don't go into the perimeter, they outcast you. Okay? And they say you are wayward. But if you are in their group, in their perimeter, they say you are okay. Now these are blind people, no knowledge, deaf, ignore them. Okay? Because to guide people in this knowledge of God requires higher knowledge. Not only higher knowledge, you must know a lot of divine secrets that many will not know, but you know. and you can guide them on the divine secrets. We are still at the first part, knowledge, certainty of knowledge, or knowledge, divine knowledge or knowledge of God. The second part, we will go to secret or divine secret next week onward. Okay. So true guide, we have mentioned two conditions the last lecture. One, who have knowledge of God. Number two is not blind, not ignorant, not deaf. Okay. And the third condition here, he has higher knowledge. Not only you have knowledge of God, you must have higher than that. Knowledge of God is just foundation, just a base. You must have higher than that. And then you must know also divine secret, which inshallah guide you. Divine says to the life, our whole life, the divine secret there about the future and others later on. But now we learn about the higher knowledge, right? Apart from knowledge of God, apart from not being deaf, blind, or ignorant, you must higher knowledge. One, the higher knowledge is infinity. God is infinite. If you really have the knowledge of God, verily He will teach you knowledge that you will never be ignorant. Once you understood carefully the higher knowledge, you won't be ignorant. And then you will be a party to divine secret. But you must achieve the higher knowledge in order to be a party to the divine secret. So, one thing, higher knowledge, infinity. If you have, okay, we've done this. God is infinite. Take note this. God is infinite. That's why it's immeasurable. He's immeasurable. It's infinite. In other words, on and on and on and on. No end. Infinite. Okay? It's existent, infinite, everything is. And then because of His infinity, there cannot be other existence. If there's other existence, then He's not infinite. And therefore, you can see here, God being infinite and man is finite. Man cannot be infinite. That means man is just a finite. Man is just a shadow or maybe a manifestation. God is infinity. His infinity cannot be corrupted or shed. Okay, you can see here. No one who knows God, one who knows himself, knows God, will surely know He does not exist because you cannot share His infinity. No way. We, any creation, also cannot share His infinity. It's a basic thing. If you share His infinity, God is no more infinite. No more infinite. Okay? So, unless you understood that you don't exist, otherwise you are existent in truth into His infinity. So which of the favors of your Lord you deny? Which? God is infinity. Any part of Him you say is yours. All is Him. All. Lock, stock, and barrel. Manifest and the hidden, Him. Nothing belongs to you. Infinity. Which of the gift of thy Lord you dispute? Everything belongs to Him. Infinite. Nothing is yours. Okay, you don't exist. Therefore, as a Sufi, you cannot think you exist. You think you exist, then you have committed sin. You have committed sin. In other words, you have shirk. Malaysia shirk. Because you say you exist, God exists. And therefore, someone last time objected to me, how can you say so bluntly that if I think I exist, I committed shirk or shirk? I'm talking about Sufis. I'm not talking about laymen. Laymen, they can think whatever they like. But as a Sufi, you have the knowledge of God. You think you exist, then you've committed shirk. You don't exist. You must be sure because it's infinite, infinity, Esa, infinity. You know, He doesn't share his existence with anyone. And you say you exist, which part of his that belong to you, which you deny? Okay? And therefore, a Sufi opine or of the opinion that it's a sin to have their yearning coexist with the divine will. Cannot. You will no longer entertain any desire, goal, or purpose. You are devoid of any need or yearning by virtue that your need or yearning is for Allah only. Divine will then manifest on you. You nothing. You are nothing. You are just a manifestation of divine will. You are nothing. So this bear in mind. If you are clear on this, then as the first, I think the wording say here, if you really have the knowledge of God, verily He will teach you knowledge that you will never be ignorant. You will never clash with Him. You'll be all right. And once you know the only existence is Him, and therefore all the action is His action. And you have learned the primary vision, the secondary vision, and the natural vision, the sifat, the hakikat, the marifat. And for Sufis, they always look at the primary vision, the marifat vision, and they only see the existence of the container. Okay, no other things. So you can see all this movement, all these actions behind it. The doer is the container. It's just like you see the elephant tail shaking. You look closely, it's the elephant shaking the tail. It's not the tail shaking by itself. It's the elephant shaking it. So you see everything that moves here. This is the subtle part of it. The bigger part is moving the subtle part. It's like an elephant shaking the tail. So what you see, the movement, all this is a subtle part of it. And this is moving on because Allah is behind all this. And this subtle part of it. And that's why He moved, because Allah wants it that way. Okay? So, and if you realize this, then infinity, all the action is nothing to do with us. We don't exist. So he in action perpetually, all the time. You see all this action, you look behind it with the eyes of the Marifah. You see the vision of Marifah, you see is Him shaking the tail. I mean, as an example, the elephant shaking the tail. Okay? You see, He is the manifest and He's the hidden. You see, in and out is Him. Put it simply, in and out is Him. We don't exist. So what you see outside is Him from behind playing it. It's like you see on the white sheet of the wayang, you know, and then you see the puppet moving, wayang kulit moving. So the white screen and the puppet moving, but behind it, what they call the pak dalang. Same here. You see everything, right? Moving on a white sheet, there's a zat. Behind it is the container. Okay? So He's the manifest, He's the hidden, and therefore He's at work every day, every time, whole. The whole hours, no rest, He's at work. I'm talking because He at work. You listening because that shows He at work. The bus moving, the vehicle moving, the wind moving, and whatever movement, whatever action, He's doing it. He is behind it. Without Him, nothing moves. Without Him, nothing exists. Okay? And therefore He says, hey, it's not Muhammad who killed. I killed the victim. I killed. Now, This need higher knowledge. You don't have higher knowledge, you will say, hey, Muhammad killed. No. When you have higher knowledge, you realize it's not Muhammad, what Allah said true. Muhammad is just the attribute, the sifat. Behind Muhammad is the essence, the zat. Behind the essence is me, my containment. So I can do anything I like. It's just like I'm shaking my tail and everything moves. So here, Allah, through his containment, he make the zat doing what the attributes is doing. In actual fact, he's doing it. So when you reach that knowledge, you dismiss or annihilate the sifat, the attribute, you annihilate the essence, you see behind it, the containment is doing the job, okay? Doing the job. So every day he's at work and he's doing it. It's not the attribute, but it's him, not even the container, not even the essence, but him behind everything. So verily we've honored the children of Adam. We carry them on the land and sea. Okay? So you see the essence carry, and then behind the essence is the containment. We carry, okay? All the time he's at work. Those who understand, let's see, he granted wisdom to whom he pleased, and to whom wisdom is granted receive indeed a benefit overflowing, but none will grasp the message but men of understanding. So if you understood what I'm telling you, Allah is infinite. He doesn't share any part of himself with anyone. He's the absolute owner of himself. So nothing can co-own his possession or his existence. Nothing can co-own. He's alone and he's doing everything as he likes, because whatever you see are just manifestation of him. Okay? It's just manifestation. So the manifestation in him and the hidden is him. It's like ice. The ice is actually water, and behind the ice is water. Okay? And you know it comes from the ocean. Okay? So that must be in the mind very clear. Also, you see here. And therefore, if he's busy all the time, that means he's doing all the affairs. He's carrying out all the affairs, all the businesses, he's doing it alone. So if a person say, if I have a say in my life, can I interfere in my life? Can I change my predestination or whatnot? No way. First, you didn't exist. How are you going to change? Number two, he all the time, 24 hours in action. Everything is his doing. No sharing with any person. So you say, what affair is this of ours? Can we share in this affair? Say, indeed, this affair wholly is Allah's. All things are from Allah. But what had come to these people, they fail to understand a single fact. Everything, infinity, belong to Allah. All the time very busy conducting himself, because none exists but him. Okay. But if you think you exist, why you want to interfere? That's where, in the eyes of Sufis, it's blasphemy, because you think you exist. Okay? Yeah. He dealing with himself. No one else exists. Okay? So you must understand this. And how can those who know be equal to those who do not know? Only those who have understanding will take it. Always bear in mind that you don't exist. What you see are manifestation, and he's behind it, conducting everything. Again, always remember you don't exist. What you see, the manifestation, it is behind it is him, the hidden, conducting everything. Remember this. It's just that everywhere you go in your mind, you remember, I'm Australian. So when you come to Singapore, in your mind, you know you're Australian. You go Germany also, you say Australian. England, Australian. India, Australia. Your mind always remember you're Australian. But the same thing, as a Sufi, you must remember all the time you don't exist. So you do not flounder or encroach into Allah's infinity. Okay? You don't exist, you don't encroach into His infinity. So always remember in your mind. And therefore, this is what He did say to Moses. You don't have the knowledge. How can you be patient with what you're going to learn? You have no knowledge. How can you be patient? This line is our parting. You go your way, I go my way. So if you met people who are blind, people who are ignorant, and yet they don't want to study or learn, you talk to him, he come into this year, come out the other year, or he's disinterested. Leave them alone. Mind your business. These are people that Allah say they are blind and deaf worse than animal. That's what Allah say. Okay? So leave them alone. Don't bother. Know you have a higher knowledge. These people cannot understand the knowledge. And therefore, if you go into Tariqah, very clearly the Tariqah will tell you the first thing is Sharia, second thing is Tariqah, third is Hakikat, and the fourth is Marifat, higher degree. And when you reach the Marifat in the Tariqah, you become a Murshid. You become a Murshid. And that's what Syekh Abdul Qadir Jilani say, when you reach that level of Marifah, your Murshid will release you, and your name will be listed in the scroll as the new Murshid or the Salasila. You see, if you have the Marifah, and we all have the Marifah at the beginning. Ours Awaluddin Marifatullah. We, the Sufi of the Prophet's way, the way of the Prophet, we achieve Marifah at the outset, that how high our level of understanding or knowledge of God. The Tariqat say, Syariat, Tariqat, Hakikat, Marifat, for us, Marifat number one. And for them, once you reach the Marifah, you straight away become Murshid. You see what Syekh Abdul Qadir say. Once you read that Marifah, the Murshid will release you, and then will write your name under the list of Murshid. You will be a new Murshid. You can start your own Tariqah. You see how high level we are compared to them. But as I say, we are lucky because you see the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet, especially Rasulullah ﷺ, you see, although it applies to all other prophets, when they pass the knowledge of God, the Marifatullah, to their companions, be it Rasulullah ﷺ or Jesus or Moses and so on, when they pass it to their Ummah, this Ummah at the outset are unbelievers. Unbelievers. Yet they could marifah them, could give them knowledge of God, and they become the best Ummah for every prophet. And our Rasulullah also, the best Ummah is during his time. And these people are unbelievers. Once they got this knowledge, they become the best Ummah in Islam. And the sacrifices they did was so tremendous. Destroy all the fine and expensive liquors, wine and so on, because it's haram. Close down the business of pigs or swines. Stop all usury. Let go all the women they married except 4. To 100 they have to go if they ever married more than 100. And many more. The sacrifices. These people don't know anything. Unbelievers, once they have the knowledge, they change and see the sacrifices they're willing to undertake because they have seen the truth. That's the thing. So this knowledge is very high level. Remember this. If you have this knowledge, you are in tariqah, you already murshid. Let me explain. I'm not joking. You read Futuhat Syekh Abdul Qadir thing. Once you reach this level, the murshid will release you because the same level as the murshid. And your name will be listed in the salasila, in the line of murshid, and you'll be the new murshid, and you can have your own devotees or disciples. You can the wishes. Once you reach this level of ma'rifah, you are the same level with the murshid, and you become the new murshid. He release you. There will be a ceremony handing over recognition that you new murshid, and a new salasila or list of name of murshid will include you, and you can have your own tariqah. Okay. So if we look at this point, then all of you before me who have this knowledge of God, who have learned this from me, you are all murshid. That high level. Except you all didn't realize this. You don't realize it. So please realize it tonight, that your level is very high. It's difficult for others to understand unless it's properly guided, they could. And our way is the simple way, the way of the Prophet. I've given you the key. I've got the key from our Prophet, and I give you the key. The Prophet used the key, open up to the companion, and they've all marifah. I got the key. I open to you all. You are all marifah. All right? At the outset, just like the Prophet to the companion, and me to you, at the outset, marifah. If you follow the tariqah, you all are murshid, 100% murshid. And you can guide them because you can talk. And we have now coming up a lot of lecturers from our side who can talk about this knowledge of God. Many of you there, one by one, coming out to teach because you have the knowledge of God. Okay? And you have the level of murshid, except we are not in tariqah. We are tasawwuf, the way of the Prophet. Okay? So this knowledge is very high level, and therefore you can see Moses also could not understand either. And he did say, hey, there's a parting between us. You go your way, I go my way. Because Moses see with the eyes of Sharia. Oh, this is wrong, that is wrong, this is wrong, that is wrong. He did, is a Sufi, he looked from the point of Sufism. He have reached that level, right? He carried out God instructions with a much ado. Different. So you have reached a level of ma'rifah, you can guide people, please realize this achievement you have had. And please, if they don't want to listen to you, so be it. Allah say you don't know, ask those who know, but they don't want to leave it. Because sometimes you pester them, no use, because this is a high level knowledge. And it's not everyone can get it. Even in every book you see, Marifatullah is the gift from Allah. Even Rasulullah want to marifah his grandfather cannot, or the father of Sayyidina Ali cannot, or even his uncle cannot. Allah say you can't even guide those you love, but I who guide it. This marifah is God given, You got it, thanks God, please. I didn't give you. See, I too was given, and I'm thankful about it. Even if I don't teach, I don't mind. As long as I have this knowledge, I'm all right. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm being given a task to teach. I had this knowledge 78. 1990, I was asked to teach. 78 to 1990, I'm okay, perfectly all right, I have the knowledge. As long as you have the knowledge, and what Jesus said, your name is written in the book, and the book is handed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. At the end of the day, Rasulullah will call you all by name, and you have the marking of Rasulullah on your forehead. You all be sitting around Rasulullah in the hereafter, and you all are safe. That's what Jesus said. So we be thankful we have this knowledge. I'm thankful, even I don't teach, I don't care. But I'm thankful for this knowledge. In 86, when my iman was going down, I was so worried. So I wrote a letter. I don't know where the letter gone. I wrote to Allah, I said, oh Allah, please don't take away this knowledge from me. At that time, I was really very, very sad because my ibadah was becoming heavier, difficult to perform. I didn't know that I was grounded because I have to take the task in 1990 of teaching. Anyway, I asked not this knowledge be taken away. Very important. I know how important. So we should be lucky. The fact that Rasulullah gave to the companion and opened up this knowledge straight away, he got the key, he opened up the door, now million going or thousand going. I got the key to it from him. I opened the door. You all go in. Straight away, Marifah. If you go Tariqah, you have to go a long way. And to reach that, you have to do a lot of zikr, meditation, and some repeating certain word for thousands of times. And even that, no guarantee you reach the Ma'rifah level. Here, straight away, Awaluddin Ma'rifatullah. Straight away, you are at that level with the murshid. So one lady, Jama'ah, told me, she has a guide, spiritual guide. And one day, she had this knowledge from me. She opened up before this spiritual guide. And the spiritual guide was shocked. The spiritual guide asked her, how did you get this knowledge? Because he knew he's the only one teaching her. How did you get this knowledge? It's not from him. Did you have another murshid? She said, no, because I'm not a murshid. She said, no, hey, now. But she can lecture to this guide, and he say, I declare, he say, you are the only person without a murshid who knew about the secret or the knowledge of God. Say, you, a person without murshid, ordinary person, have achieved the knowledge of God. And she was asked to teach a few times, she refused. Our people, our Jama'ah, right? So you see how far it went. Even that guide, only a spiritual guide of us got shocked. So we reached that level. When you have reached that level of Ma'rifatullah, that is the highest level in Tariqat. And that level, you yourself become murshid. Okay? So if people don't have this understanding, if people do not want to learn, then leave them alone. At this higher level, you can force. These are God-given, God give, God given. If they God don't give, doesn't give, that person will not have it. But if God give, it opened up so nicely, so beautifully, and he could grasp the whole thing very well. Okay, so that's where he does say to Moses, this is the parting line between us. Okay, now this is the thing that Moses was objecting to Hither. How can you make hole in the ship? This will cause people to drown if they use the ship. It's a terrible thing you have done. See, Moses looking from the point of view of Sharia. Same here, why you kill this boy? He done nothing wrong. Why you kill him? It's a terrible thing. He's looking from a Sharia angle. He's looking of two existence. But if you look at one existence, you remember that verse, it's not you kill, O Muhammad. I'm the one who killed. Then you understand what he did say. You don't have the patience to understand because you don't understand this knowledge. Okay, but if you understood that verse, if not you kill Muhammad, it's I who kill. Same here, it's not Khidir who kill, but Allah's who kill. Then who you have the knowledge, you will keep quiet. Because this Khidir has been chosen by Allah to perform his bid. Khidir is just an instrument of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So we elevate by degrees whomever we will. And above every person of knowledge, there's one more learner. And this you can see, later on you can see, even though I respect Zakir Naik, he's very good, he's a pillar, I respected him, and he has also converted many non-Muslim to Muslim. Yet, when he good in his field, he may not be good in other field. Truly, I'm also not good in his field. Okay, I don't think I can beat him in his field, but I am specialized in my own field, and that is knowledge of God. Okay, the knowledge of God. That is my specialty. My specialty, my skill is there. Okay, so that's why we elevated by degree whomever will, and above every person there is one more learner. Okay, so in this way you can see later. I show you the video. When question asked on this aspect of God, okay, he can't answer. You can see very clearly he can't answer. Later on we go to that. Those truly fear Allah among his servants who have knowledge, for Allah is also exalted in might and often forgiving. Men of intelligence surpasses those ardent worshippers, just like the bright moon comparatively to the stars. You see this, the thing I was telling you? It says that God is steady putting people in hell. You can see okay, Alhamdulillah. So if you see, I think the answers can be narrowly put. It's just like a wooden desk saying, must I be marveled by the wood which make me very, very beautiful? A wooden table. A wooden table say, must I be amazed or marvel at the wood that make me so beautiful? A beautiful table. That's the answer. See? It's just very direct to the point. It's just like a wooden table say, must I be marvel of the wood that make me a table so beautiful? Or a rubber duckling say, must I be thankful to the rubber who make me so cute, rubber duckling? His answer is there. Okay. Or a plastic bottle say, must I be thankful to the plastic who make me into a beautiful shape of bottle? The plastic bottle say. So if you have seen some of my drawing, you see a duck and the duckling walking. The duckling asks the mother, "Hey, mom, did you hear what the bottle say? Must I be thankful to the plastic who make me a beautiful bottle?" And the mom say, "Hey, plastic, don't you dare mislead my duckling, thinking that the bottle is talking." You got the point. The duck, the mother duck and the duckling passed by the bottle and heard this bottle say, "Must I be thankful the plastic who make me a beautiful bottle?" So the duckling said to the mother, "Mom, did you hear what the plastic bottle was talking?" And the mom shouted at the bottle, "Hey, plastic, don't you mislead my duckling thinking that the bottle is talking." Well, ask, must I be marveled by what Allah had done? Only one existence. Okay. He's just playing around with himself. But you see two existence, then come in free will, whatnot, nonsense, all this. Right? It's just like these puppeteers and the puppets. Or you have this puppet talking, "Oh, I hate the maker who make me." And you know the voice of the puppet is for the puppeteers. See? And you see the puppet talking, "I hate the puppeteers." But it's the voice of it. You realize this? It's a short answer. But as I say, our level is very high. Unless you understood our knowledge very well, you find that kind of question, and you see other question coming out, very difficult to answer because it touches on the basic thing about the greatness of Allah, the infinity of Allah, all that. Okay. So the prime knowledge here is that, the foundation of a house is its base, foundation of religion is knowledge of God. That's what Rasulullah said. And Marifatullah is the basis or foundation of all spiritual upliftment. This is Said Sabik. It's obligatory for you to know who you worship before you do your worship. A person worship is incomplete, Shaykh Abdul Qadir said, if he does not know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let it be known the existence of Allah is crystal clear. However, the prerequisite to this is to achieve knowledge of God. So you don't achieve, you're blind. Once you achieve this, you can see the truth, then you will cry. You see the eyes overflowing with tears for what they recognize of the truth. And they say, "Our Lord, we have believed to write us with the witnesses who see this truth." Okay. So, who should be the guide to guide the Ummah? Right? And our Ummah is in a very bad situation now. Everywhere you see being colonized, terrorized, and whatnot. You see. And what we need for this guide, we can see here, and we send no apostle before thee, but we reveal unto him there is no God save me, and so worship me. So the most important thing for the guide is to bring back the Ummah to know God. Which today, the mission or the da'wah of the scholars, Islamic scholars in all the countries, Muslim countries, mostly on the schools of jurisprudence. So you are this area will be Shafi'i jurisprudence. India, Hanafi jurisprudence. A bit further up, Hanbali jurisprudence. Further up, Maliki, Wahhabi, Salafi jurisprudence. They don't talk about knowledge of God, which is, you can see here, every apostle sent to teach their ummah on the existence of one mighty God and to worship one mighty God. No, they don't teach that, you know. And we raise generation after them. We send to them an apostle from among themselves, worship Allah. You have no God but Him, will you not fear? So again, every apostle was sent for their ummah to know one God and to worship Him. It's the main thing. It's the prime mover. It's the one. Every ummah want to, and you can realize every converts. I heard many convert, or even our dear friend Mr. Mahmud also. He found the religion to be truthful. He found it. He didn't become Muslim or others become Muslim because they are afraid of hell. No. They found that this is the truth, so they are in. And they worship one God. And that is why when during the Prophet time, the people in Mecca were shocked. Hey, we got hundreds and thousands of God, and you want to make it one? That's impossible. But Rasulullah did it. Finally, all become only one God. And that is the main thing for all mission, Islamic mission, to teach their people the existence of one God, have the knowledge of God, and worship Him. This is very important. That shows that all the disciples of all prophets, even though unbelievers at the outside, become a true and God-fearing believers. The main thing is to teach them the knowledge of God. Okay. And again, 124,000 prophets, including messenger, were sent for what? To teach the ummah the existence of one God and worship Him. And Muhammad is the last one. Okay. And we said, okay, that was spoken already. And you can see here, Jesus said, truly I say to you that if the truth has not been erased from the book of Moses, God would not have given to David our father the second book, Psalm. And if the book of David is not contaminated, God would not have committed the gospel to me, Jesus. Saying that the Lord our God is unchangeable. He's Him. Whatever Allah was during the Moses time or Adam time or no time, He's still the same. During out of the same God. Okay. Saying that our Lord is unchangeable, the same Lord, the same God, and has spoken but one message to all men. That is to know Him and worship Him. Okay. And you can see here also, we said, go down all of you from hence, but verily they come unto you from me a guidance. This is where Adam and Eve were sent down. Verily they come unto you from me a guidance, and whoso followed my guidance, there shall no fear come upon them, neither shall they grieve. What are these guidance? The guidance are the prophet was sent to teach their ummah the existence only one God and worship Him. That's it, not the rules and rules and rules. No, the one God. Moses asked, O Lord, among the dweller of paradise, who the most lofty? And Allah replied, those who have chosen by my hand have had implanted dignity in them. So after the prophets, there are people who are chosen to lead others to the truth. Okay? And who are they? You can see it on. As for true believers, it is they in whose heart is inscribed faith, and whom He has strengthened with inspiration from Himself, and whom in time He will admit into garden, all that. But He has inscribed faith and strengthened inspiration into these people. And who are these people? We can see among the believers are men true to what they promise. Among them, he who has fulfilled his vow, and that I must remind those of you who have agreed to teach. You have agreed to teach, Among them who has fulfilled his vow, among them is he who awaits his chance and did not alter the term of the commitment you have committed, by any alteration. So please do your job. You have already been listed to teach. You go on this to teach. Do not be afraid because you are the level of murshid already. Okay, and look at this. Such a man possesses knowledge of God. You have knowledge of God. And his sign and his heart is made the repository of the rarest knowledge, and he intimate to him such secret as he kept hidden from others, and has selected him and drawn him towards himself, and guided him and raised him towards himself, and expanded his heart to accept those secret and high knowledge, made him his executor with power to guide others to the truth path, as well as guiding them away from sinful and deviant acts. So you can ask Pradeka, you can ask me, you can ask Achong, you can ask Jafar, Hayayi, all this. Once they started on this lecture, you see the divine assistant come to them, helping them to prepare the lesson and to deliver it well. So those of you who still holding back, please come forward and spread the knowledge of God, because you are the level of the Khalifah, the level of not only the Khalifah, also the level of the Murshid. If you count the Tariqah way, you already reached the Ma'rifatullah, the highest level. You have been nominated to teach. Teach. You have the knowledge. Teach. Don't wait. Okay? So you become Allah's men. They are rightly guided. They can guide other seekers of truth. They are upright and will affirm uprightness of others. They are like deputy prophet or messenger. They always receive guidance, inspiration from Allah. My only advice, don't start lecturing haywire. That means you want this topic, although high level, you teach the topic. That's not the way. There are people who are at the bottom. You have to guide them slowly up, 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 up. You are teaching higher level. So we just leave you alone and go on with your teaching at higher level. But what about those waiting to be guided? You have to go down, guide them up. Because the base, the foundation of this, even Rasulullah say, is Ma'rifatullah. You have to guide them from there, that point. Ma'rifah. Make sure that they got the hit or the knock that make them aware of the existence of God. The sudden awareness. That is the point that we want. Once they achieve that, the rest is smooth sailing. Then you can bring them up easier. But you play higher level, what's the point? Right. So my advice for those who want to start from the bottom, bring them up. Okay? And then people will easy to follow. Okay. Well, there'll be unfortunately those who will be late to join, but there are others like lecturers coming up. They will have. But you have to start from the bottom. Like here. Okay? So for those new one, please start from the bottom. I can see like Azmi, Jafar, they're quite clear from the bottom. So remember this. Okay? Then you can bring them up. That's my advice. So become Allah's man, rightly guarded, guide others to the truth, be upright, affirm the uprightness of others. You are like deputy prophet or messenger. You always receive guidance, inspiration from Allah. And you see their eyes, tears flowing down because they recognize the truth. Because remember just now, Imam Ghazali said, the existence of Allah is crystal clear. But the prerequisite to this is you must have knowledge of God. Okay? So once you have that, then the the knock to your heart will make you cry. But unfortunately, we have at this point of time, the one that doing the dawah is not talking about knowledge of God because they do not know and they are blind. They don't have the knowledge. They talk about rules, rules, and rules. Okay? And because too many rules after Rasulullah demise, there's too many rules come out from everywhere in the empire of Islam, everywhere coming out. So they decided to stop this ruling coming out and to accept only four sources. There's Hanafi, Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanbali. From other sources, they stop it. And then, since that moment, the closing of the door of Ijtihad, that means stop all other ruling. Okay, the Islamic Ummah neglected Al-Quran as well as As-Sunnah and exclusively conformed to the books of the four schools anointed. Henceforth, they become generation of taqlid. Taqlid means accepting and adhering to opinion of others without referring to Al-Quran and As-Sunnah. And that is not Sufi. You see, the Sharia, from the book of Shafi, from the book Hanafi, or from the book of Maliki, from the book of Nawawi, whatever. From the book of writers, not Al-Quran and the Sunnah. But you see, from our Sufi, largely, substantially, Al-Quran, As-Sunnah. Okay. So, so today, all advocate and non-advocate of taqlid, those say, don't follow this book, just follow the Quran and Sunnah. They talk, or those proclaiming the followers of Al-Quran and Sunnah, and in reality, mukallid, followers of taqlid themselves. Okay. Then you see, and what happened when you become taqlid? Same happened to the Jew, same happened to the Christian, and you can see what Jesus said. As God live in whose presence my soul stand. If the book of Moses with the book of Father David has not been corrupted by the human tradition. That's why human tradition is not sunnah of the prophet, is a human tradition. That means the fatwa, the resolution made by human other than prophet. Of false Pharisee and doctors, God would not have given his word to me. And why speak I of the book of Moses and David? Because every prophecy, that means every prophecy of the prophet, have been corrupted in so much that today a thing is not sought because God has commanded it, but they look to the doctors, say, this who what is Imam from where Imam Nawawi, Imam Hanbali, Imam Maliki, they look to the doctors, not to God's commandment. And the Parishi observe it, and those who follow will follow it, as though God were in error. Man could not error. So much so they believe all this ruling by all these scholars are not in error. But God ruling the Quran can be in error. So people are now talking about the rules and the rules. You doubted me, you listened to this, have you heard this? I repeat again what he says. Okay.
If we look to the Quran, we'll find that through relationship between God using reason and faith teaches many, many major themes. You know what I was taught when I became a convert? Rules, rules, rules. If I hadn't studied this religion myself and entered this religion and all I received were rules, 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 I would have left it the next day. Thank God I read the Quran first.
Yes, thanks God.
If we're going to draw these indigenous people, our own children, that second, third, and fourth generation, those converts and non-Muslims into this religion, let us begin by following the model established by God himself through his prophet Muhammad. Peace be.
Okay. So through the prophet or other prophet, the first thing in religion is to know God. Right? But no, they talk rules, and any new innovation, they deem it wayward, prohibited, discouraged, must be in their framework or in their box. Outside, wayward, Even to replace the ablution area with pipe was prohibited. Deemed unholy to read books on geography, unholy. Don't read geography. Don't read philosophy. Yeah. Using shoes, that is, you follow the Westerners and you will become unbelievers. Okay? Any innovation bring progress or improvement will vigorously resisted before they were even formally started, and their organizer were deemed wayward zindiq. That's the way they are thinking. And not only that, you can see the Muslim scholars were so overzealous and overprotective of taqlid, following all this jurisprudence, that they rejected geography and mathematics, claiming that these are wayward and contradicted our faith. Geography and mathematics, they reject. In addition, the wearing of Western attires mean that person is inclined to be a Westerner, and which event is deemed to be one. Not enough, we see again. During the reign of Sultan Salim III, Ottomani Empire, this is in Turkey, the Mukallid, followers of Taqlid, rejected viciously the use of firearm. You see this thing until today, they say you cannot build firearms because it's not in the book. Rejected ferociously the use of firearms like rifle, pistol, and others. This contradict the Sharia, even though the Western countries' arms were by then equipped with armies were then equipped with firearms. The Sultan did not want to follow, they killed the Sultan. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. They say you cannot build firearm because it's not in the book. And until today, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and those around there, they buy. They don't manufacture arms. Even the Sultan of Saudi, I don't know which one, he said, we buy and buy and buy. When are we going to create one? Even bicycle we don't create. Because this Mukallid. They say follow the book of the scholars. And in that time when it was written, Islam have not manufactured any firearm. So how can they write on that? So if not in there, you cannot manufacture arms. So they start buying, and the G8 and the G20 countries become rich, especially the G8, supplying all the weapons to them. Okay, buying. And then they keep on buying. How can you going to win the war? You depend on the supplier to supply you the arms, and the supplier is also interfere in many areas. How can you win? You can't. But why can't you manufacture arms? Why can't you manufacture arms? Saudi Arabia, why you spend a lot of money? Or Kuwait or UAE, why? Spend no money, buy, purchase. Why don't you build? Why don't you build? Israel, a small country, can still build. You're a big country, big money. Why can't you build? Because the book, the scholars' book say, no, it's not in the book. And that is the problem until today. We have this problem. Okay? And look again. The Mukallid destroyed the telephone lines built by Raja Abdul Aziz of Mecca and deemed it contradicted the Sharia. Or even telephone line, they burned. This being the case, the government could not give any command to their armies. And not only that, they burned the bicycle rode by the government messenger, deeming it as Iblis' horse or instrument of Satan. And they wanted to burn down the radio station. Luckily, the chap inside very smart now. What he did was, he played the Quran tape on air. So they all taken aback, The radio station cannot be a place of devil worshipping if the Quran is right there. So they stop. They stop, but they destroy the clock tower, first built in Najd, alleging that it was satanic instrument. And Azhar University refused to admit female students until 1956. They relented because the pressure put upon them by the Egyptian government. You see what happened? The Mokhalid until today still survive. Okay, but this, with the intelligent people, the students, you can see the secular education creeping in substantially into the Muslim society. Malaysia, Singapore, everywhere, creeping in the secular education and make the children more intelligent. And you see, from a 12 years old, what he said here, if those have not heard about God or religion will go to paradise, then we must stop talking about God or sharing the Bible or spread the words. What they're saying, if people don't know about God, about religion, all enter hell, all enter paradise. So stop talking about God. Stop talking about Quran or whatever. So people don't know. So ignorant will put them in paradise. So 12 years old. Another anonymous. Why must one enter hell simply because being born in a family of unbelievers? When they are decent people, conscientious and faithful to their religion, they are born to. They don't understand. Okay? From a 12 years old, after hearing that the Holy Book said that unbelievers will enter hell, commented that the God must be psycho. That's sicko, a big sicko, and the Holy Book is a scam. They can't take it. Once this is it now, but now you can see the secular education creeping in. Now the younger generation are thinking, and they are thinking aloud. And you can see just now, Zakir Naik was questioned. It's a big question. Without understanding Sufism, it's very difficult to answer. But you understood Sufism, very easy. It's just that the ugly duckling is talking, why the rubber make me ugly? I hate the rubber. Ugly duckling, no, the rubber duckling, say, I hate rubber because it make me ugly. Okay? You look closely, you can say, hey, who is talking, the duckling or the rubber? It's simple as that. So the guy is asking that God is unfair or sadist or what. Look, you should laugh and say, oh, no, we laugh because if you look closely, you see who is talking. Right? Who is talking? And remember, I said, you see another existence except God, you have committed blasphemy. Remember, I said, the only one existed. Okay, so you look closely at the guy, you see the rubber talking, not the ugly duckling. Okay, we go again. Ask the people of knowledge if you do not know. These are people who are gifted with knowledge of God. Clearly see what has been revealed to you from your Lord or Prophet is the truth. They can see the truth in the Quran and its guide to the path of the Almighty, the praiseworthy. But whoever is blind to the truth in this world will be blind in the hereafter, even far more astray from right religion. God threatening these people. Have you any hope that it will be true to you when a party of them would used to listen to the word of God, then used to change it after they understood it knowingly? Okay, so some of them interpret it in their own way that further from the truth. So you can see a lot of khilafiyah, that means irreconcilable opinion of many scholars. So if you take, for example, like dog, some say can, some say cannot. Pig, some say you can't even touch, some say you cannot eat. Okay, and also the view that your ablution will be void if you touch a woman. Some say no, some say yes. Even the prayer, the doa kunut, where you read the psalm, you say that you must read every subuh prayer. But other schools say no need. There's a lot of friction, a lot of confusion, contradiction, right? You have this problem. A person in Hanafi, after the talaq, the divorce, but that night he kissed his wife, that's okay, back for it. But in Shafi cannot. Even you kiss, even you slept with her, still you consider divorce because you have not uttered the word of taking her back, reconciling. You didn't utter that word. And Shafi, so a lot of ruling contradicting each other, and therefore you have 4 schools. Okay, and in the Quran say those who make my religion in a different routes will be asked by me in the hereafter. So it's our job to bring the Ummah back, to teach them the knowledge of that. That is the first, foremost in any mission work. We have to do that. Remember, the Sharia of the Jew gone, and the one taking over the void is the Zionist, and they're very cruel. Then the Christian Sharia gone, the one that come in are the politicians, and you can see the world topsy-turvy because the politics there, terrible. And our Sharia will go because as the secular education crept in, more our children become more questioning coming up from them, more vocal, and then you can find that you cannot handle them. The questions are touching on the Godhead. You cannot, like you see, like our good friend Zakir Naik cannot answer. So somehow if this thing come out more and more, become atheists, free thinker, unbelievers, and so on. So when this vacuum, when this thing happened, Rasulullah say, you follow the previous Ummah step by step. They enter the lizard hole, you will enter also. That means we also gone. Our Sharia will go. But in the void of the Sharia, that the Sufi will come in, and that will have our religion. And that is our job. Those who are waiting should not wait, come out and teach our Ummah to know God. So that is the end of the lesson today. And coming back to Bayu, we may have a few minutes to train again achieving enlightenment.
Ya, baik. Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih banyak Ustaz. Sekarang lanjut dengan enlightenment ya Ustaz ya?
Ya.
Ya, baik. Silakan Ustaz.
So again, the first thing is certainty of knowledge. That the first thing when Allah be the continent appear, and from continent manifested the essence, and from the essence manifested the forms. Okay, certainty of knowledge. So when we sit in the form, we also one of the form. We sit in the form. That means it's our room. We know we are looking at the wall, the wall around us. That are the. But we know when we annihilate wall of the certainty of knowledge, we know behind it the essence. And we know when annihilate the container, the essence, we have the container. The container you can't annihilate because that is part of God. Okay, so there is certainty of knowledge from the container to the essence to the form, and certainty of vision is you are sitting in the form, the certainty of knowledge. Then you get rid of the form, annihilate it with your mind. You can do it like you can sit in your sitting room, and then you look at your bedroom. You annihilate the wall of your bedroom, you can see your bed. Maybe then you can see the door of your bathroom and so on. So you annihilate the wall. Same here, you annihilate the form and you see the essence. Essence, because you have the certainty of knowledge, you know the container, although it's blank, the existence of Allah is there. I know that you exist, Allah, even though I can't see you. And right now, I can feel that you're looking. Because even though you see blank, but you know behind that blank is Him. Because He exists, He manifests, and He exists and He encompasses all. So behind that, definitely, there is Allah who is infinite, and looking at you, okay? And so, indeed, those who fear their Lord unseen, from them is forgiveness and reward. Great. And then you see, I can feel your existence, Allah, even though I can't see you, can feel it. And that is ihsan. Ihsan is, you see Him, if not, then know that He sees you. Okay? That's the standard of ihsan. Now let's explain here. Are you in your room? Annihilate all that before you. Okay? And definitely there is the essence, because the form comes from the essence. Although you can't see the essence, you know from the certainty of knowledge, the essence is there. Annihilate the essence. You know you are facing the container. And that is eternal. You can't annihilate it. It's part of God. And looking at Him, His container, and it's looking at you. You have certainty, you are certain that definitely behind all this is Him. And that is the iman, the belief, the faith that He exists. And everything is annihilated. That left is now my container. So you must believe that you are now looking at the container. Even though you can't see, but you know you are looking at Him and He's looking at you. It's like you're looking at a balloon, transparent balloon, so big, you know inside there's air. Even though you don't see the air, you know, because the balloon is so big, bulging, you know air is inside, even though you didn't see the air. So you know the container is there. Because everything comes from Him. And He's eternal, cannot annihilate, cannot perish. So when you perish everything else, you are looking at Him. Even though you can't see Him, but He's seeing you, and you know you are seeing Him because it encompasses all. So wherever you turn, you are looking at the content. Wherever you turn, looking at Him, because it's the last. Everything you annihilate is the last. And that you can't annihilate, and you are looking at Him. Feel it that you're looking at Him. And everywhere you turn also, since you annihilate everything else, left Him, the content is eternal and infinite. Wherever you turn, there is the container looking at you. And you're looking at it, even though looking at Him, even though you can't see Him. You must believe that, because that's the basic truth that you must see, that He exists before you. Even though you can't see Him, He exists and He's watching you. Even though you can't see, that is a basic truth. He's there, even though you can't see it. So when you annihilate all things perish, you are facing Him, even though you can't see Him, but you are facing Him, because that's the truth. The only thing left is the eternal, the infinite, and that is the container. So you're looking at the container of God, looking at you and looking at Him. That is the truth. If you really feel it, you're really aware of it, it will jolt your heart and you will cry. Either visibly or invisibly, you cry. because you are seeing the truth, that you're looking at Him, the internal, the infinite. Wherever I turn, I'm looking at it, because there's certainty of knowledge. So get rid of all that before you, get rid of the essence, and you are looking at Him even though you can't see Him, because He exists, encompasses, and infinite. Everywhere you turn, left or right, front or back, you're looking at Him. You must accept this fact, this truth, that everything annihilated that left you facing Him, the only existence that is eternal, you are looking. Look at Him, even though you can't see Him, but you know He's there, and you know that He's looking at you. It's a one-way mirror. You can't see the other side. The other side can see you. But you know the other side of the mirror is Him, and you know He's watching you, and you know you are looking at Him. It's His Son. So feel it, realize it, and that is the truth. That when everything annihilates, the last is Him. Okay? And that you cannot annihilate because it's eternal. Annihilate all you, annihilate the essence, and feel that you are facing the eternal, the container, His container, who is eternal. Even though you can't see Him, you know He exists. You are looking at Him, and He's looking at you. He encompasses all and is infinite. Everywhere you turn, you're looking at Him who is unseen. Seek the truth. Find it before you. Ponder. Wonder, that you are looking at Him, the existence that is eternal, infinite, encompassing. You are looking at Him, even though you can't see Him, but you know you're looking at Him because He exists. And He's looking at you from the other side, even though you can't see Him. And you're looking at Him, even though you can't see. This is the truth. Feel His existence. Be aware of His existence. Okay, everyone, you practice this. If you have not yet achieved it as of now, practice it as I show you just now at home. May God lead you to the truth and find the truth, find it in yourself. That will bring an upheaval in your life, your character, your association, and all about you will change for the better. So I stop here. Back to 5.